This is a work by Robert Rauschenberg titled Periwinkle Shaft. This is one of Rauschenberg's largest pieces. This work was actually done for a children's hospital, hence why you have these sort of fun objects like the fish over here. Well, I mean, to put together a pop exhibition with some of, I would say, the world's and the last 50 years most important artists, I'm happy to say that it is definitely my most important exhibition. To date, it's also my first non-commercial exhibition. I have curated many exhibitions around the world, from London, New York, Venice, or even Seoul just recently in September. But this is the first exhibition open to a public in an institution where the works are, of course, not for sale whatsoever. In this exhibition, I'm also very proud to say that we have museum quality works, historic works that have been loaned to us from many, many important private collections as well as estates, museums. For example, one of our star works has been loaned by the Leo Museum in Seoul, which is a very important privately owned museum in Korea. So yes, this is by far the most important exhibition to date, and I hope a first to many more. This is actually a vinyl that we've cropped and installed here with some of the artists that we have in the show. We've got Warhol just here. You know, when we were discussing the various exhibitions that themes that we could do here at Art House, pop art was shortlisted. And there were many reasons why I thought pop would be a good theme for an exhibition in general, but also for Mumbai. Number one, pop is very en vogue today. There are many pop exhibitions around the world, mainly solo exhibitions, big retrospective. For example, you have an incredible retrospective of Ed Rocher at the MoMA in New York, or Keith Haring at the Broad. You will have also a very important retrospective of the work of Roy Lichtenstein at the Whitney soon. And many commercial art galleries have also done quite important pop shows recently. Secondly, you know, when we were analyzing what kind of exhibition we could have, I was thinking, what is a movement that can sort of speak to everyone and anyone? Also, the pop movement includes some of the most known artists today. If you think about it, when you ask someone, you know, name two famous artists, they might say Picasso or they might say Andy Warhol. So, you know, we're very lucky that we've managed to loan quite a number of very important works by Andy Warhol, alongside many other works that we're including in this show. We've really focused on curating, or I've focused on curating an exhibition showcasing the 12 pioneers of pop. And some of these pioneers are some of the most famous artists to date. And for being one of the first exhibition of its kind in India and one of the first survey of pop art, of American pop art in Southeast Asia, we've really managed to gather historic works, exciting works, works that really show and reveal the best of each of the artists we're including. So here we're very lucky to have these enlarged contact sheets by Christopher Marcos here with, as you can see here, 3 incredible shots of Andy Warhol. Look, nothing is easy, India or not, but India was doing a show of this caliber in India was a challenge. I'm one to take on challenges. For me, it was a great opportunity, a career-changing opportunity as well. And I'm ever so grateful that the art house, NMACC, and Isha trusted me in, on this voyage, this short one. But yeah, so once we defined the theme of the show and we defined the artists in the show, we really sort of, it took us a bit of time to come to the conclusion of doing an only American pop show. We were considering perhaps including Indian artists, for example, or non-American pop artists. But we very quickly realized that, with the space we had and the time we had, and that we really wanted to showcase the core of pop, what really was pop in the 60s, onwards to sort of, I would say, today, but really focusing on the artists who became famous in the sort of 60s to the 80s. Once we had done that, it was a question of really defining themes for this show. So we came up with 3 themes within the exhibition, which are fame. We start with fame. We then follow on with love, which is this floor we're on. And then we go on to power. And we thought these 3 themes were defining subjects that these artists interacted with within their golden years, I would say, the golden years of pop in the 60s. And once those sort of various themes were defined, we went out scouting for works. And that's when another challenge arose, is, how do you convince people to lend works, number one, to lend works to a new institution, young curator, and to lend works to a country perhaps they don't know or they've never been to. And for me, what was very exciting about curating this exhibition was the fact that it was here in Mumbai, in India, in a country and in a city that is growing, that is developing, a country that's booming. If I looked only at the way people interact with art, or the Indian collectors interact with art, it's, they're intrigued, they're excited, they want to learn more about Western art, or I would say non-Indian art. And for me, it was very interesting to be able to bring this to Mumbai and to India. So it was a matter of convincing people and, explaining what we were trying to do, how the country has shifted and changed, and how, we would take care of, very valuable pieces of art. Some pieces that we have are, extremely valuable because they are some of the most important works by many of these artists. And, some people were happy to and trusted us, and others were just didn't want to risk anything. Anytime you move a work and you loan a work, does it come back the same way? Who knows? I mean, we're taking care of them in as if they were our little babies, but still. So, but I'm very, very happy with the outcome. We've really gathered what we've wanted. We've gathered works that work extremely well with each floor and each theme. We've gathered works that speak to each other. Behind me, you're looking at works from Roy Lichtenstein or even Besselman, looking at feminism and the female body, and I'm very, very happy with how each artist sort of have a dialogue between each other. And lastly, we've also managed to work with the Andy Warhol Museum to create an interactive 4th floor with an installation called Silver Clouds, where people will be able to be immersed in a room full of helium-filled silver balloons, which hopefully will also show the fun of pop. Pop is serious, it's fun, it's a real mix. And I mean, really to conclude all of this, a big focus for us is for people to come out of this exhibition, have discovered something new, and to have also learned something. And we've really worked very hard to hopefully educate people and teach them something with this exhibition. We've created a booklet that people will get when entering the exhibition, where there will be a text on every single work that is exhibited, so they can actually understand the true meaning of these works. You know, they might look, you might have a superficial understanding, but whilst reading, maybe people can have a better understanding of these pieces. And of course, on each floor, there is a very detailed text on the meaning of why we've chosen the themes of fame, love, and power. Here we've got actually 20 original photographs by Andy Warhol, showing some of pictures of many of the famous people he photographed, from Bianca Jagger here to Tina Turner. We've got Nancy Reagan over here, Grace Jones kissing Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've got Andy Warhol coming out of a little plane, Keith Haring, that's included in this exhibition, Robert Williams, and here we've got Madonna, for example. A lot of the works that we loaned, a big majority, I mean, I haven't seen those actual works until they arrived. I've seen every single, many works by many of these artists, but I haven't seen every single work that we have in the show in flesh before they arrive. So we've had many positive surprises. I'm very grateful that we have managed to bring an incredible monumental sculpture by Claes Oldenburg and his wife Roger van Bruggen, which is going to be a big highlight for this exhibition. It's a nearly 4 meter high, over a ton, if not a ton and a half, upside down bouquet called drop bouquet. The work was produced just now, was finished and created immediately for the exhibition. And I think, and that was also a big commitment from us and the museum to be able to, from the art house to be able to bring this work, and it was a big logistical effort. So I'm very excited about that work. And in general, I've really built an affinity with every single piece. There's not, particular ones that I'm more excited, but I think that to gather so many pieces by Keith Haring, in this room alone we have 4 pieces by Keith Haring, some very large works. It's quite exciting, and I think people in Mumbai and the visitors will really appreciate that, even the children, because these works are supposed to really shed on positivity and fun and laughter and music. I'm also very grateful for the work that we have just here, which is a love sculpture, which is a very iconic sculpture by Robert Indiana. And it might be a piece that people might recognize or might have heard of or might have seen something similar, even though it was maybe not an original piece by Robert Indiana, but something of similarities. So that will really be wonderful. We also have 3 iconic works by Ed Rocher, one from the Mountain series, Level as a Level, which is on the Fame floor. And lastly, we've also gathered a very large number of Polaroids and photographs that Andy Warhol did over the 60s and 70s and early 80s, really depicting the celebrities he was with, the socialites of New York he interacted with, and a bit of the life in New York. As you know, he was very much obsessed by the celebrity culture, Studio 54, and in the silkscreens of many celebrities out there in the New York social scene. So we have a bit of an insight into that. And something that I didn't mention also, which I'm quite proud of, is we've created these cabinets on the last floor where you'll be able to not only see original works, paintings by some of these artists, but also photography of the time of these artists in their studios. You'll be able to see then next to their works, you'll be able to see letters they wrote or poems they wrote. We've also acquired 2 Andy Warhol interview magazines from the late 60s, so people can really, I want people to be in this world and really understand that world and see where they came from and what they saw. Also, one needs to understand that these pieces, we're seeing them in the 21st century. These pieces, many of these pieces are from the 60s, not all, but a good number. And those were so modern, at the time, and very criticized as well, because many people thought, oh, this is never going to last, this is rubbish, etc. But look at it, today in 2023, we still appreciate them. We're nearly in 24, and you see them in collectors' homes, you see them at auction houses being sold. They're still, star lots, star works that people want to collect and live with. So it just shows how forward all these artists were in creating such contemporary works that are really ageless and timeless. So here we're actually on the first floor of the exhibition, which is the fame floor. Many artists, many pop artists at the time were very much obsessed with everything which is of celebrity culture, whether in Hollywood, whether it's Studio 54 in New York. And we're very lucky to include a number of artists that sort of worked with this theme of fame in this exhibition. Behind me is a work titled Screen Test, which is a monumental piece by James Rosenquist that was painted in 1975, to give you an example. Honestly, it's been an amazing experience. We've become a bit of a family. We were joking earlier today at lunch that I was telling them, oh, my phone has so much battery now, and they're like, yeah, because we're just speaking live. We were speaking non-stop and we really had this relationship where we could call each other at any time of the day or night, any problem, and we really worked as a team. And I think that that will really reflect within the exhibition of how we work together, what we managed to gather with their expertise of how to import works in India, how to their relationships with lenders that have lent us works, and it's really been a teamwork. I think that I could not have done it alone, so I can speak for myself, and I'm very grateful for the trust and for letting me lead and realize my vision with their help, because it's not easy to let go and just be like, okay, they know me for a few years and they know what I've curated and they have an idea, otherwise they wouldn't have asked me. But we had a risk. We didn't have much time to put this exhibition together. We were dealing with works that are so important that people maybe in this in India have not really dealt with when you're looking at just importing works. So everything was a risk, but we've pulled through. We're still pulling through, a few days till the opening, and I think that the team could not have been better. Everybody had their roles, from looking at loan agreements to text to curating to events to anything. Everybody really pulled through, and I could not be happier.